Welcome to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. We are honored to be joined by Senator Joe Kryillos today, 13th District, serving Monmouth County. And sir, again, thank you so much for being
Larry.
here.
Thank you so much.
Let's get to the budget quickly.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of things. There was this promise to, no matter what, to pay for this, we're not going to raise any taxes. There is another side that's saying we need to raise the gas tax. Is there any chance, it got a lot of people upset, is there any chance that could happen?
Well, we got a big budget to deal with, and then deals with all of our public purposes, and the governor just unveiled it. We got a pension problem that's a big component of it and a problem unto itself. And of course, the gas tax would fund, if it were to be raised, and it does now with the existing gas tax, the Transportation Trust Fund, which pays for our infrastructure, our roads and our bridges. But the fund is nearly depleted.
Hugely unpopular,
so we need
though.
to do something. And you know, nobody wants to raise any taxes, and certainly not me. I haven't raised a tax in my career, maybe some fees here and there. We have to look at it. We're going to take a look at it. If we can couple it with a tax decrease in another area, the right formula may be palatable. But the devil's always in the details. The time to crunch out those details is now.
I was waiting for you to say, because you said a moment ago, I can't remember raising taxes, for you to say, oh no, not going to happen. We're never going to have a raise in the gas tax. You're leaving the door wide open for that.
I want to hear the proposals, right? And so if we can get the right kind of formula and the right kind of coalition together where the business community can agree that this is in the long-term best interest of the economy of the state and for job creation as a whole, to make sure we're competitive in the out years, you know, we may have to look at it, but we'll see what happens. But we're going to hear, talk, read a lot about it in the upcoming weeks and months, I suspect.
Yeah, I've already read a lot about it. Over 60% of New Jerseyans polled are dead set against any raise in the gas tax.
Count me in the 60%. I don't want it either. But if it is part of a necessary answer, we'll see. And of course, you're talking to a guy who's never raised an income tax, never raised a sales tax, never raised a corporate business tax, because it's counterproductive to what we all want, which is jobs and prosperity and a good, strong life and lifestyle. We want people to keep their money. But we all realize we live in a community, in a society, and that's why some level of taxation is necessary, right? That's our communal due, so to speak. We've gone too hog wild in this country, both in Washington, D.C., this state capital here at home in New Jersey, state capitals all around America. But we'll just have to see what happens. Stay tuned.
The governor, in his budget address, or maybe it was right before, said that he reached an incredible accord with, of all people, the teachers union over pensions. Yeah. And quickly, the teachers came out and said, not so fast, we did not reach any such accord. Do you know what's going on?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I thought it was a really strong speech, a strong message, and potentially historic, right? If you can get management, so to speak, right? The governor in this case, and labor to come to the table, deal with this long-term base problem, which affects all taxpayers, all citizens, but especially public employees that are counting on that money for their retirement. It is historic and a model for other capitals and states in America, countries in the world, private sector companies also grappling with their pensions. So I was disheartened when, 15 minutes later, the NJEA said, that's not the deal we signed up for. I'm not sure what exactly is taking place. It may be that, and the governor said it himself the very next day. He said, look, we got a roadmap here. We didn't agree to all the details, but we have the structure for a possible agreement. So it may be that the teachers organization, the NJEA, as we call it here at home, may not be quite as forthcoming in terms of what's been discussed. Maybe that the governor was a little too quick to unveil things and jump the gun a little bit, maybe a little bit of both. But at the end of the day, whether it's this month, this 6-month period, the next few years, everybody's going to have to come to the table to deliver a solution, because what we're doing now is not sustainable, can't do it. And so if we want to have a pension for people in the out years, we're going to have to make some changes.
A lot of people in criticizing the governor for the speech and jumping the gun on what he said was an historic accord with the New Jersey teachers is that he was using the State of the State address to run for president. That if he could have this historic deal with the Jersey teachers, it would be so impressive on the national stage. Yeah. Do you answer that question, but also, is he spending too much time running for president?
Well, if he jumped the gun, it was only one component of the overall lack of communication and mixed message that ensued after the speech. You got to remember, Larry, that just the day before, a Superior Court judge in Trenton said, you got to fund the pensions to the tune of an extra $1.5 billion, not just for this budget cycle that we're commencing, but for the last year as well. So combined, you're talking about roughly $3 billion price tag. So he had to say something. If he didn't come out with a big statement on that, everybody would have said, what about the pension piece?
But you're saying it was a slip of the tongue, or you overstated it. You're not saying
no, a slip of the tongue. Look,
did he say something that wasn't true?
No, I'm sure that there are discussions that have taken place and are taking place. I have not been part of them. And they need to get fleshed out. But it's in nobody's interest to point fingers, right? If you're the Republican governor, if you are a leader of the Democratic majority in the legislature, if you're a minority Republican legislator like me that wants to do the right thing for New Jersey, if you're a school teacher or a state employee or a local employee in the state, and you're 55 years old and you're looking to retire in 10, 15 years, we all got a lot of skin in this game. So we got to figure it out. The health benefits piece is important too, because it's very, very expensive, and it's much, much more costly to the taxpayers to pay for the benefits for public employees than what happens in the private sector. And most of the private sector plans are pretty good plans. So if you just had the cost akin to what the private sector pays, just as good, the savings from that alone would go to finance a lot of the pension problems. So we're going to have to sort through it.
Let me end. We're getting wrapped up, so I do want to get back to the Christie thing.
We'll come back and spend more time.
Yeah, I would love that if you would, please. But were you supporting Chris Christie if he runs for president?
You know what? He's not running yet. Jeb Bush is not running yet. We're gonna look at all the candidates. I'm trying to do my job as a little country state senator here in New Jersey, and that's enough for me to chew for the while. We shouldn't read too much into the fact that you met with Jeb Bush? Well, look, I like him, right? I've known him for a long time. And so, when the governor of a big two-term state who I've known and respected for a long time calls and says, let's have dinner, most people go, and I went. I enjoyed it. And he's a good man. Yeah, we'll see how things unfold. So if they both run, what are you going to do? You know what? We didn't cross that bridge yet. Okay, you want me to make big news on this broadcast? We are going to make Channel 3 right here and now. I was hoping. I was hoping for that. Good to see Senator, you. Thanks, Larry. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in. Senator Joe Kryillos from Monmouth County. We'll be right back to talk about the possibility of free community college in New Jersey when Jersey Matters continues.